Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, October 10th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also, if you trade Bitcoin, I will do a bonus analysis at the end. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol BNZI, big mover today and had quite the nasty pullback. When you stop and think about the fact that at one point the price was up there, and then it drifted all the way down there. Very, very big pullback. But within that drifting downwards, so I'm just going to, instead of just saying drifting downwards, I want to try to visualize it with that trend line right there. You can see last 30 minutes here, we actually have a break up through that downtrending trend line. And not only has it broken up through the downtrending trend line, it's also gotten up above that pink line there, which denotes the very well-known 200 period moving average. So in other words, last 30 minutes here, the price is broken above two key technical resistance levels, which prompts and makes a very valid question. Is this the start of something even bigger? Now, to be fair, there are no guarantees, so this thing maybe just rolls right back over. But that is a two-sided coin, and it could very well be, well, the start of something bigger, where this thing is just ready to get ripping and roaring back to the upside. So the breakout has occurred, but now because the breakout's occurred, we get to ask that exciting question, is this the start of something even bigger? So if you like this price range and you like these sorts of scenarios, keep an eye on it. Next one, MNTS. Penny stock, well, I guess it's technically slightly above $1, but same general idea of what I just talked about. Check out this last 30 minutes. And again, like I said, this is why I like to do these when the markets are open, because we can sometimes capture, but we are going to new highs as I speak. So yes, to be fair, and for some people, a bit of a disappointment, the price has broken through that area of resistance right there. But it goes back to that question. We now get to ask the exciting question, is this breakout the start of something even bigger? As of right now, it seems so. But again, think about that question. It makes no sense to ask that question if nothing worthwhile, if nothing exciting is even happening, because that would make no sense. But when something is happening and exciting, such as a breakout, then yeah, we can ask that question. So yes, to be fair, if you do like to quote unquote play a breakout, that is already missed. But if you're someone that's also interested in finding breakouts and then looking for continuation and seeing if they build and pick up more momentum, then that certainly fits that criteria there. So yes, once again, nice breakout. Is it the start of something bigger? We'll see what happens. Next one here, ticker symbol WW. And this, we have an overall nice pattern here. And as I get this pattern drawn into play, please understand, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to imply this is a great discovery or a special talent. The exact opposite. I assure you, a lot of other people are watching this pattern too. And I say all that because when a lot of people are watching the same patterns, changing that to green there to represent support, but when a lot of people are watching the same patterns and wondering the same things, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So let's turn this all into one color to make it a little bit easier to see. That was a terrible line. Let me try again. So we have our area of resistance. We have our area of support. We have the big upwards move right there. For you golfers out there, try to make it a little bit more visual. Put the golf hole down here. This would be a bull pennant pattern. So as I've mentioned, no guarantees, but is it valid? Is it plausible to think that if the price comes up here and then breaks up through that level right there, that break in of itself could create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a plausible scenario. So if you like this price range, you like bull pennants, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one, ticker symbol KXIN. And good solid day today, especially that opening 30 minutes. And then the second 30 minutes right there was when that big move occurred. But then, yeah, after there, it did drift downwards. But within the grand scheme of things, so what I'm going to do here is acknowledge the fact that, yeah, there's no doubt about it. It did drift downwards. But part of caring about the bigger picture is the fact that, okay, well, what was happening before this downwards drift? And you would say, well, the price was down there late day on Tuesday. But now the price went all the way that high. Put the golf hole down here. So intraday, looking at only today, there is a bull pennant, even with that pullback from those highs. Now, there is perspective that goes into it. I'm well aware that if you're a day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 3 minutes, well then yes, from that perspective, the chart looks absolutely terrible. But again, from the bigger picture, looking at things from an overall standpoint, you do still have that bull pennant on the day. So it's now just a question of, can this consolidation curl back upwards and get a break to the upside? So if you like plenty stocks, you like bull pennants, keep an eye on it. Next one, NVDA, and not a whole lot of, yes, there's updates that need to be made. Not a whole lot of excitement on this one, but still a very, very healthy chart because the first update is just, if you're bullish, pay attention to which direction this adjustment needs to be made. So now that we have more data after today, the newest area of resistance seems to be right up there around that 134, 20-ish mark. And as you saw, I had to adjust that resistance in the upwards direction. And if you are bullish, whenever levels of resistance need to be adjusted in the upwards direction, that is definitely a good thing. So again, nothing explosive today or anything like that, but still the resistance need to be adjusted higher because the price did put in a higher high. And from an overall trend building standpoint, that's what it's all about. You just want to see the price put in higher highs and higher lows. And even from the higher low standpoint, you can see the price didn't even go down there and test this level here. So once again, I'm going to adjust this area of support right up there to that level at 130, 135. Keep in mind, that is not a do or die level if the price were to fall below there. It's not like the entire chart's epically destroyed. Not that far away, you do have the purple line there, the 50-period moving average, currently valued at, we'll call it 129.60. So all things considered, not the most exciting day, but think about that word today. When you look at multiple days, the overall trend still plenty in the bull's favor. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use to sign up. Or if you're watching at my website, there's an area right there on the webpage you can use to sign up. Like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free class. Next one, ticker symbol PLTR, and another very solid day. Almost a case of deja vu. You look at Tuesday, opening 30 minutes, very strong, and then just kind of a slow, steady grind higher the rest of the day. Then you look at today, big solid move right there, and then the rest of the day, slow, steady grind in the upwards direction. So overall, the chart remains just fine. And in terms of near-term levels to keep an eye on, as far as resistance levels are concerned, I would keep an eye on that area right there. And then also as far as supports are concerned, keep an eye on that level right there. And what I did draw there is a rising wedge pattern, which is bearish. So in my opinion, this thing needs to get some sort of pullback. So I would say a pullback is coming sooner than later. Now, let me be very clear before you start throwing stones at me. A pullback is not the same as a reversal. Pullback's not the same as a crash. I'm not saying this thing is drifting down to oblivion. In all actuality, the price could quote-unquote pull back right here, level out, and think about what you'd still have from the big picture standpoint. You'd still have a set of lows there, you'd have lows down here, and if you envision those as stair steps, overall stair steps would still very much so be headed in the upwards direction. So like I said, don't freak out, don't start losing your mind. Pullback is not necessarily bearish. In fact, in many situations, a pullback can be very, very healthy. But as of right now, we have a rising wedge pattern, so we'll see if a pullback is indeed in store or not. Next one, TSLA, and a relatively disappointing day when you factor in that during that 30-minute session right there, it was going beast mode, got its highs right there, and then the party stopped and spent the rest of the day just drifting downwards, and has now established what I think is going to be a very, very important trend line. And again, this is not me trying to impress you. I think a lot of people have now thrown that trend line into play. So once more, to bring up that talking point of self-fulfilling prophecies, I think that could very well be a case right here because, again, oops, let me move this over so you can see where the bottom part of that trend line came from. So right there to right there, nothing complicated. Got to think a lot of people are watching it. And then just from an overall health standpoint, so twofold. One, from a trading standpoint, I totally understand you're not being crazy at all if you think, well, if the price comes down there, I'm buying because I think it'll bounce. I get what you're saying. It has bounced twice before. Of course, that's not guaranteed to bounce. That's why risk management matters. But you're not being illogical to think that the price could bounce off of that spot. On the flip side of things, though, just from an overall standpoint, if the price were to come down that area and then break down through it, that would be a very big red flag that the bulls have lost their mojo and the bears are picking up that much more momentum. So in my opinion, at least, very, very important level to keep an eye on moving forward for the remainder of the week. And then in terms of areas of resistance, I would just mainly focus on that purple line right there, 50-period moving average, right now valued at 245.10. So keep an eye on that. But in my opinion, most important dynamic right now is not necessarily breaking levels of resistance, but more so making sure it stays above that overarching level of support. Next one here, YANG, Yang, and not a very exciting day today, but bigger picture-wise, a very healthy day. And I say that because yesterday was a huge move up. And after huge moves up, it always becomes a valid question of, okay, are these gains just going to all of a sudden, disappear? Is it going to go right back to where it started? And in this situation so far, no, a sideways day. Now, no, it's not nearly as exciting as the price exploding upwards, but just from an overall health standpoint, after a big day, just simply getting some sideways movement, I would argue is a good sign in and of itself. So overall, from a support standpoint, nothing has changed from yesterday's video. You still have that initial level of support at 319, but even if that level were not to hold, then that's where you'd want to turn your attention to the purple line there, 50-period moving average, right now valued at 301. And then in terms of levels of resistance, yes, you still do have that overarching one up there at 363. But in the near term here, seems as though there's been a new kind of level here that stepped up, that downtrending trend line right there. So let me change up the look just so you can tell it a little bit different. So in the very near term, let's see if the price can break up through that area of resistance. But again, all things considered, I would consider today not exciting, but healthy. Next one here, SMCI, and we have ourselves a nice technical pattern. I've already talked about this one before, so I want to respect your time as much as possible. So let's just go through it much quicker. So there is the resistance part of the pattern. There is the support portion, change that to green. And then just because I can't help myself, let's keep it one color. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the nice explosive move right there. We have the golf hole down here. So we have ourselves a bull pennant pattern. And SMCI, I would consider it a relatively popular stock, which just adds that much more credibility to the whole talking point of those self-fulfilling prophecies, because the more eyeballs that are watching and wondering the same thing, the higher the likelihood of a self-fulfilling prophecy. So let's see if the price can come up here, get that break, and then see if that generates more buying momentum. Next one, TQQQ, an overall good solid day. It's finally broken up through that area of resistance that I've been talking about, which prompts our first update in this update, just based on that rule and levels of resistance are broken and closed above. You want to see them act as support. So the ideal level of support moving forward, meaning what would be that level that makes it look the strongest? Definitely if the price can stay above 73.50. But as I've said before, if the price does not hold above it, not the end of the world, because you do have from the overarching standpoint that purple line there, 50-period moving average. So as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher. So from an overarching standpoint, as long as the price continues to stay above that purple line, everything is still perfectly fine. And then in terms of areas of resistance, again, we can actually ask ourselves that question, because it's doing battle as I speak. Market closes here in 3 minutes, but yeah, it's doing battle with that level. So as we started off, the top 10 will end with it here. Is this the start of something bigger? Is there more momentum to come? It's knocking on that door. It's slightly above that area of resistance. So let's see if more momentum shows up on Thursday. I'll get to Bitcoin here in just a second, but for you stock traders out there, again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about the tool, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. It'll be, like I said, very soon, Thursday, October 10th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And it is truly live, and I say that because there will be a question and answer session. So if you have questions, please bring them, and I'd be happy to answer them live for you. All right, now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick clarification here. I am now on the 4-hour time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 4 hours and not 30 minutes. And that's because Bitcoin is open 24/7. So in order for this analysis to remain relevant for as long as possible, by using these long-term time frames, it allows me to accomplish that. So what I want to do here is just walk you through some questions. And I'm just going to assume you're watching this video 15, 20 hours after I get it uploaded. But as I speak right now, you can see nasty last 4 hours, and the price is right at the pink line, the 200-period moving average. So question number one you need to ask yourself is, where is the price at relative to 61,100? If you're saying in any way, shape, or form the price is up above that level, that's a good thing. Now, it might be minimally good, meaning if the price is right around here, I mean, it's good in the sense of, well, at least it started to go sideways. I mean, by no means is it great or anything like that, but that is also where common sense comes into play. Because if you're watching this video 20 hours from now and you're saying, well, actually, Clay, the price is way up here all of a sudden. Well, that's telling you that things have gotten really great, because not only has this area held, it's provided a bounce. But like I said, bare minimum, if you're answering the question that the price is above 61,100, that's, good. Is it great? But like I said, that's where your common sense will come into play. Now, if you are answering the question that the price is down below that level, next immediate question is, okay, well, where is the price at relative to that area right there at 59,850? If you're answering the question that the price is down below there, that's not good. That is telling you that the bears are not only still in control, they've gotten that much more control, and in a big, important way, because that would imply that the price now has pushed down below this previous area where the bears struggled last time. So if the price is all of a sudden down here, that tells you that the bears are no longer struggling. In fact, they got more strength in order to push down through that level. So right now, we're at a very interesting level. For those of you that do watch this 15, 20 hours from now, I'm a little jealous because you're going to have a much better idea of what actually has happened from here. But yeah, that's the current status of things. Walk yourself through those questions, keep your eye on these levels, and that'll keep you updated until I'm back again with the new update. And as I invited the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader to get signed up for this free live class, because what you're learning about can and certainly should be used within the world of Bitcoin and crypto. So like I said, it'll be very soon, Thursday, October 10th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I hope to see you there. As far as the top 10 videos are concerned, as always, if you enjoy these, if you want me to keep making them, hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber yet, make sure you subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions or anything like that down below, if you have requests, and I'd be happy to, because I do reply to all comments. So thanks for watching. Go get signed up for that free class.